Let's get it on!
Yo, what is up everybody, this is Craig and today we're gonna cover patch 4.9.3 that will release in 25 of May. Let's watch the great video that will cover new stuff that's coming up and then we will read up all the patch.
Welcome to a Heroes of Newerth Patch Spotlight version 4.9.3. This patch holds lots of new content such as hero reworks, new Staff of the Master effects, and even 5 new items. Starting off with the hero reworks. Ichor's ultimate ability Blood Rush has been entirely reworked. Activate to create an aura around Ichor for 7 seconds. Ally heroes within the area gain 20 attack speed plus an additional up to 20 attack speed per real ally hero in radius. Enemy units in the area receive up to 40 true damage every second. Whenever Blood Rush deals damage to an enemy hero, it heals Ichor and ally heroes affected by Ichoric blood or transfusion within 1200 radius for 40 plus 2% of Ichor's maximum health. This effect can be amplified further by 0.5 times for each enemy hero hit after the first, with a maximum of plus 1 time. Other ally heroes within the radius of Blood Rush that are not affected by Ichoric blood or transfusion get healed for 0.5 times this amount. The aim of the Ichor rework is to transition him away from granting allies a large amount of damage reduction and to transition him to having sustained, scalable healing in teamfights that scales as the game progresses. Ichor isn't the only hero getting a rework this patch. Pearl's third ability, Soothing Presence, has been entirely reworked and got a sub-ability attached to it as well. Passively grants up to 2 health regeneration per second to nearby ally heroes for each nearby allied hero. Activate to immediately heal all nearby allies for up to 250 health, but lose the passive health regeneration aura effect for the cooldown, and Pearl can now target a location to travel there and land after 0.75 seconds with her new sub-ability, Bubble Pop. The separation of the healing effect from the leap effect is necessary for Pearl to maintain her defensive role while still having enough offense to pose a threat to enemy teams with her Bubble Pop to Preservation Initiation combo. In addition to these hero changes, 2 heroes are getting a brand new staff effect, Fade and King Clout. Fade's ultimate ability, Reflection. Now, after using Reflection, the ability becomes Umbral Dance with 3 charges, allowing Fade to teleport to enemies and apply Shadow Walk to yourself for 1 second. Also applies 0.6 of the original damage over time effect to the target. It does not stack with the original damage over time or itself. Reflection's first on-attack effect is preserved for 5 seconds if Reflection expires without applying the effect. King Cloud's second ability, Goblin Toss, now has a spawn rate per goblin reduced to 2 seconds, with the added benefit of not spawning any blue goblins and an increased chance of green goblin from 25% to 50%. Also, King Cloud's ultimate ability, Parade of Power, now has a reduced cooldown to 80 seconds. In addition to all these changes, 5 new items are being added to this patch: Blood Ruby, Ether Jewel, Nile Crystal, Adev's Cloak, and Phobo. Blood Ruby and Ether Jewel both act as build-up items for other items in the game that have max health or max mana bonuses, with Blood Ruby passively granting 150 max health and Ether Jewel passively granting 120 max mana. Nile Crystal is another option for health and mana sustain against spell damage while in lane. While off cooldown, upon taking an instance of attempted 60 plus non-dot spell damage, regenerates 40 health and 20 mana over 10 seconds and places the item on cooldown. Adev's Cloak. While off cooldown, taking damage from player-controlled enemy sources starts a 3-second timer on the item and starts accumulating damage. The timer is refreshed each time you take damage from player-controlled enemy sources. If the accumulated post-mitigation damage exceeds 20% of your max health, or 300, whichever is higher, while the timer is active, the item is placed on cooldown and Adev's Protection is applied for 3 seconds. Adev's Protection grants up to 25 health regeneration and up to 20 mana regeneration, with up to 40% debuff and stun reduction, up to 40% damage reduction, and up to 60% damage output reduction. Adev's Cloak can be upgraded 1 time. And lastly, Phobo. Target an enemy hero to gain 70 bonus attack speed, infinite attack range, and a 50% chance to gain True Strike against the target for up to 6 seconds or 4 attacks. Only grants infinite attack range to ranged heroes. And that's not all, there's even more coming to this patch, including hero range and movement speed changes, and a kill gold bounty change in Forests of Kaldivar. You can catch up on all that and more by checking the patch notes when they are released by May 24th. We hope you enjoy these showcase changes coming to this next patch. This is Spiff, and thanks for watching.
As we saw the video, this crazy stuff are coming, and this is the big changes overall the patch. So let's go over the text right now. So as we can see here, there are gonna be more prizes and stuff because it's gonna be 11 years anniversary for HON. So this is pretty exciting. It's gonna be tons of rewards for over a month. So you can see it's from 25 of May till June 30. So that's really exciting. More silver, more prizes by logging in. So go ahead and play more. That's really nice, let's call it that way. There's new loading screens, new corrupted avatar. The look is gonna be HD, so as the Thor avatar of Thunder. Throwback for Riptide is coming in. The music is going back to the original one. The lobby music has been changed to Legacy Lobby soundtrack. This is nice. Let's go for the staff effect right now. So Artesia is getting another effect. So now the cooldown will be reduced to 50%, and while Essence Projection is active, Relaxation ability cooldown will reduce by 2 seconds. I think it's gonna be viable actually, and I definitely wanna try Artesia right now. This one is really cool. So the Blitz new additional staff effect added, it's whenever you use ability, Blitz is gonna get quickened for 1 second. When you use quicken, it's gonna be normal. So that means really fast stuff and more damage, because when you're using your Q, you already have that quicken with you. So it's gonna be more damage to deal with. And it's like Flash, if you watch the series, it's gonna be really cool. And also Blitz abilities will no longer have cast time, so I love it. Devo is getting some buffs. The hook is gonna be by 100 more range, and the cooldown will go 1 second below. It's with the staff effect, of course. And this one, as you saw in the video, Fade is gonna become like an assassin, you know? Like he can spawn behind you, like a Nighton jump, but within the shadows. So there's that 1 second shadows when he jumps on you and gives the dot of the ultimate. So this is really cool. I like it, and I actually want to see it in game if it's viable, because remember, stuff is 4.2k. Sometimes it's just better to get a PK and just stun enemies, and that can win team fights. But that's definitely cool, and I will look for it. Another new stuff is coming is Kayn stuff. So now Kayn is also granting 50% damage reduction against damage source other than the target. So if someone attacking him besides the target that he's attacking is getting 50% less damage, this is a lot. Also, the bonus damage affected is now stored restoratively, so this is actually nice. And the damage gained this way will be reduced though, okay? So he will get less per charge, but now these chargers won't affect enemies. So let's say the enemy wins Kayn, from the staff he won't get anything, so it actually benefits only Kayn. So now Kayn staff is less risky to get. Before, if you got it, you could have give enemies damage for no reason, you know, but now it's actually so low. I don't know, because of the 50% damage reduction, it's really good, but at the same time there's no high risk, so it's actually kind of viable. Maybe later of the game. So I do like it, Kill Cloud, as you saw in the video, so now this is big change and a drastic one. I mean, for now you would go Spell Sunder, Resto, and it's basically the main two items to go for King Cloud, but now as this stuff gives also no more blue goblins, which all the goblins will do so much DPS right now. This is big. And also you will get green goblins to 50% change instead of 25. This is just enormous numbers, and also the spawn will be by 2 seconds reduced. I think stuff will be a must for King Cloud. So as its cooldown reduced the ultimate. So this is really big changes for King Cloud, I feel like. The hero is great, and now it will be even greater. Slither staff is being reduced with the cooldown when he does have a staff, and you should get stuff on Slither, so I like that small tweak. Rank pick. Now the max ban will be 8 instead of 6, and each hero will choose 4 heroes instead of 2. So it will be more challenging to play the meta heroes, I feel like. And it will give another chance to out of the meta heroes, which I do like. It will generate new heroes to the meta, and that's pretty cool. I feel like it seems too much, right? But it's only 4 per team instead of 3, so I feel like it will actually open the new heroes more than it will make the game more blocked, you know, because every game is without 8 heroes, and it's like almost 10% of the heroes, but that's totally fine. Okay, so assist time is being changed to by 2 seconds more. You can make assist, that is nice. And the HON live is disabled. Well, no one was using it anyway because it's disabled for years, as you can see here. And the general base hero kill is gonna be 230 gold instead of 200, which it means more solo playing reward. So if you go for a solo kill, you get more kill for that. And also you get here, as you can see, the bounties getting more and more. So as it was before, you added 5 gold per kill, now it's gonna be 10, which is twice. And the experience also is gonna be more, so increased by 15 for each level of kill hero. So it will benefit the solo kills. So let's say Blood Hunter goes and can kill someone with like a tablet. So that will benefit him a lot and doesn't need some help. So it will benefit the players who play more alone, which I like and don't like, because HON is about teamwork, but at the same time, when you make a solo kill, you should get rewarded for that. So it's both sides of the coin. Now it's the range adjustment, which I don't like, to be honest. I don't think there should be adjusting so much range, so I won't go through every number, but most of the number are -50, -75, some are pluses, like Artesia, you see he's getting to 600, but I think he's one of the fewest that will be still with 600, as you can see. Aluna or Arachna, like a lot of -25, -50 range. You can see here another Doctor, Elonia, Emerald is 600 actually also, but a lot of like getting less by 50, by 25, by 75, really depends. Even Malik and Ultimate, so it looks like every hero in the game that his range been removed, his a little bit of range. Most of them, yeah, there's some that got added, like below here, where was it? I think Thunder got some range buff. And there we go, Thunder is 450 now, not 350. I don't know how I feel about it, because in their perspective, the tank range that was 600 in the past was considered better heroes, and would prefer better due to the ones with less than 600. I'm not sure about that, but you know, we will see it in game. So now, generally speaking, 550 is the new standard one, and 600 is like, wow, it's so high range, you know, as it was 6 to 5 the highest one, or 600 was the normal one, but we will see. I personally less like it, I like when there's range. Also, as movement speed, they adjust it also, so there's some +5, -5. You can read it, I will link you the patch below, of course. So a lot of movement speed changes. Also there's some edits of 10, so like Revener, this is nice actually. Revener is struggling to chase people. Flag Rider was fine with 310, but they removed 10 from him. TB is really nice to have the 10. So there's a lot of tweaks, a little bit of movement speed. And now we're in the heroes part. So Adrenaline is getting a little more damage from his Q, and the mana is reduced a little bit by 5, and the cast range is just adjusted a little bit better for the early game. So this is nice. He been shut down, so I like it. Amun-Ra Ignite is no longer has cast time, so it won't interrupt your correct order. This is good. Artesia Relocation activity. Ability cooldown when the sense projectile takes damage reduced from 5 seconds to 2 seconds. So this is a big number, actually like 60% less around. So this is really nice. Artesia has been really loved this patch, and I think she will be more picked, as she is like so less picked than other heroes because there's no stun, there's only slow, but the heal is so enormous, so maybe we will see her going back to the meta. Balfagor, his creeps, so when you level up your creeps, they're on the level, you will get 3 charges whenever the ability is there on the level, so this is really cool. Berserker is getting some cooldown reduced for the strength sap, so this is nice, a little bit of a buff. Bushwhack Toxin, Juggernaut Toxin charge application to targets other than the main target when processing increased for 1122 to 1234 when it's non-hero unit, so this is good. So now you will farm a little bit faster. For the heroes it stays the same. Sirius is getting more intelligence per level, and the mana cost for Doppelganger is being reduced a little bit, as last patch they increased it a lot. Kronos is getting a nice buff actually. 80% for the leap level 1, this is great. This will make him like do 3 leaps instead of 2. And later of the game it will be only 110 as it used to be 120 all the time. And the cooldown is reduced as you level it up. But it starts 1 second more, so this is reasonable. You anyway max it, so as level 3 you will already have like level 2 and it's only 90 mana instead of 120. And same cooldown, so this is really cool. Devo is getting some buffs. Even though he got the staff buffs, he also gets some armor now, more, and the hook is gonna deal more physical damage in the early game, and the cooldown of the hook is gonna be 12 seconds in the last level, which is a lot better, and the mana cost is also reduced. So Devo is picked. Devo is the meta right now. Who don't like to make some hooks, right? And it will even make him better, you know. And the magic armor is even increased by 1 in each level. And you can see here Devo had a few reasons to be picked over the other hooks as Gauntlet and Prisoner. So his early game landing and roaming power received a large power spike. So I agree with that. But at the same time he was just great hero overall. So I mean, this is not the worst case scenario of a hero that needs buffs, but that will make him super strong in my opinion in the early game, even though right now he's pretty strong. Drunken is getting some critical strike damage multiplier increase for his drink, which is nice. They're trying to really make the balance for Drunken. That's another one. This one is a cool one. So Empath, as he uses his ulti as 1, while activate Empath gains 2-3-4 mana regen, so this is already nice. You always struggle with mana as Empath. And when you activate single items, you can double activate it to yourself, and the target that your host will get it instead of you. So now if you have a Dreamcatcher, Health Pot, Hyper Crown, I don't think you have like Hyper Crown, Empath, but sure. Lex, Lunar Tear, Mana Potion, Nullstone, so every item that used to have to activate and click, now you can just double activate it, and this is really nice, I feel like. Really make the hero more smoothly to play and less annoying to find your target because you incite someone, you don't know what his next move, so I like it. Engineer, no longer can double activate the keg, which I like. I myself like, it's never used actually, and sometimes when you use it, it's accidentally happened to me also. Fade is getting some more damage as base, and more strength, so more HP. And the movement speed from the ultimate will be more by 10%, which is a lot. And I feel like Fade is also going to the meta. So Fade, Reticia, King Cloud, more. I mean, I like it more out of the box heroes. Like they've been picked, but not us, the main ones. Flint range has been adjusted a little bit to less, but it's just fine. I think it's the general one, yeah, as you can see here. For a second, getting some buff, so strength per level is increased and intelligence per level is increased, and the proc chance is increased a little bit, and the damage from the ultimate is increased also a little bit. So a little bit of tweaks to for a second. She's strong, but that might be the cup of tea, let's say, as they buffed like Moon Queen, like last patch. Now they buff in for a second, so every hero carry at his own, you know, at his time. This one is a cool one, I like it a lot, which 4 seconds is a lot of cooldown to reduce for the hook of Gauntlet. I love it. Gravekeeper, so now the Flying Touch, now you start off with a charge when the ability is leveled up, and whenever you respawn. This is a nice tweak. Gunblade, now you can toggle the ability from range to melee. I don't know. I mean, you don't really supposed to do it. You should be range hero, but you know, you have this also melee option. Now you can go just melee all the game and cleaver and basically play the heroes as a melee, which is kind of cool at the same time. So I don't know, 50-50 for me. But it's a good option, I guess. If you don't like it, you just don't use it. Iker has been the big rework of the game, let's call it that way, of the patch, sorry. And basically Iker will be now more healer than the protector, but it's still a protector if you think about it. So you saw in the video, they changed the life leech a little bit for the damage, and the heal target will be more in the last level. So this is a buff and a nerf as the damage is a little bit less, but overall it's about the healing. So this is cool, and it's starting with higher, so this is balanced. Also the second ability is gonna be 20% as they like rework it, you saw in the video, and the cooldown will be actually less in the early game, which is nice, and the damage will be more at the early of the game and the same in the later of the game. I feel overall the hero is not really needed the rework, but at the same time this is cool. I like it. I mean, you get more attack speed as you with more allies, so Conqueror will die really fast if you like 5 people on the Conqueror and you just activate it to do it, and also it regens. So you see true damage also to enemies. So all of these are great changes. I want to see him in game. It feels kind of too strong a little bit on the paper, but on the video, but we will see. So King Cloud also for the staff effect, the red minion. So base magic damage increase from 30, 40, 50, 60 to 70, 90, 100, 130, same as blue minion. Magic damage over time reduced to 55 to 30. So this is less damage over time, but it's gonna be like a blue minion, looks like. And total damage taken over time remains unchanged, so they just want to make the damage right away instead of over time. And the green minions also inherits red minions effects, okay. So this will actually make stuff of the master effect for King Cloud, I feel like. So we will see how it goes with the red minion. It looks like it's gonna be added like another minion to the group, but I'm not sure right now. And Lodestone damage reduction against damage source within 150 or more damage increased by 5 seconds. This is nice. Martyr non-lethal spare magic damage to allies has been changed to health loss based on magic armor. So this result is no functional change other than getting the calculation to be correct if there are other damage. So amplifier sources on the target So this is basically a correction to what the ability looks like for the Angel Guardian. And health loss can now only reduce the target health to a minimum of 7% of the... So no more 1%. So this is actually a buff, I feel like. And you can storm the like the ally that you wanna guardian. So if you didn't know, if you storm the target that got so much damage with wings, he will get no damage. And this is actually nice. I mean, this is not big of a deal, I feel like. Monor getting some love, 5% for the reduction of the Crystallis, which is nice. Attack action on Parallax reduced by a little bit, this is nice. Parasite getting a little bit of a nerf. Whenever you get out of creep, it's gonna be 7 seconds instead of 5 the minimum. Not the biggest of a deal, but it will make him farm a little bit slower. So Peril, as you saw in the video, also getting reworked. For me, it's not really rework because they just separate the abilities into a sub ability and a main ability. As it was before, it was without the jump. Now they just added the jump basically. So I don't see it as a rework, I see it as a separation of the abilities. And also they buffed him a little bit in the later of the game for the Q ability and for the W ability. So a little bit buffs for Peril overall, and the sort of rework of the third ability is actually a big buff. So Peril will be definitely picked more, and you never need to use that bubble pop of the second E ability, let's call it, the sub ability, let's call it that way. So you can just heal every time, and when someone goes, and you just use it for the ultimate only, you don't have to heal. So it's really nice, more smooth to play with the hero, more flexible. Prophet is now having the option to actually cast on self position or a target entirely. So you can still target ally heroes. Targeting an ally will still apply the heal on yourself, and now has a cast range of 800. Can still be double activated to cast the heal on yourself, projecting the heal effect to the closer ally within. So it's like the same, but now you have only the option to toggle it if you want, or you will just do it to yourself and the target. Rampage is getting a little bit movement speed, less speed as he walks from this trample to 0.5, and the cooldown is increased by 0.5. It's fine, the hero is just fine, even with that. This one is looks a little bit, but it's actually a big one. So Riptide is no longer hides on the minimap to his enemies, so this is... I don't know, I've been struggling to find Riptide sometimes when you're in water, you know. Even though when he does use the ultimate, he will be hidden, but not within 2k range. So I like this change a lot. It will make easier to play against him. Shadowblade is getting more buffs as they like make him... I don't want to call it weak, but balance minus. Now he will be more balanced, I feel like, with more stats. Sliden getting some love, some more damage for the poison spray. Also the parry tick is increased a little bit, so I love it. More love to Slither. And you can see the ultimate. Now it's 70 in the last level, as it was 100, but if you get stuff, it's even 50. So you definitely want to get it stuff, even though I feel like everybody would get it. Soul Stealer, when upon death, he will lose 40% of the souls instead of 50. This is nice. Thunderbringer action time is reduced a little bit. The Chain Lightning is reduced to 1.5 cooldown instead of 2. And the Blast of Lightning cast range is even more in the last level. Then the damage is a little bit more in the last level. And the stun duration is actually gonna be 0.4, which is starting to be like a real stun, you know, like 0.5 plus is like a stun. Even though it's less than a second, it's really good. And the clear vision will be 5 seconds and 4.5, and also the ultimate also will make it 5 seconds. I love it. I feel like Thunder will be really viable right now. More movement speed, more range, as you saw before. Thunder is really going into meta. Tremble getting a little bit of a, let's call it a nerf, because therefore as you start the game you want to put them in the middle, destroy the trees. Now you cannot really do that. You need to walk there and do that, because 600 range is the first ability. I mean the first range of the ability. And Boris number of hits to dice too. So these big nerfs to the Tremble. Tundra strength per level is increased a little bit. The cast action time is reduced a little bit. Mana cost reduced a little bit. Really nice. Voodoo now applies a 0.5 multiplier effect within 500 of the mojo, which is cool. You can like AoE heal people now. I love it. And this is all for the heroes, so we had pretty massive changes here. And more new heroes, let's say, to the meta. Now the items you saw, there's 2 items gives you mana and HP for making other items. So you need these items to make others. Basically, this is why they added these 2. And the price is reasonable. Also, there is the Hindley Crystal. As you saw, this will actually make you take less damage upon attempting of, like, you get in Codex and you get this regeneration of, like, back to you and a little bit of mana over 10 seconds, and it pulls the item of cooldown. But also this item is for making items, so these 3 are for making items, basically these crystals. And this is the interesting one, as you saw in the video. So now there is an item that can block damage upon use. It's not like idle, when there's like 300 magic removed from the activation, let's say Magnus Ulti, so 300 of the magic damage is not being used on you. But now you actually been blocking that while the enemy is using. So if you've been codexed it, as in the video, so you will actually get less damage. So this is a cool concept. I feel like we need to see it in the game if it's really viable. Like, will people buy it for 2.3k? I mean, the upgrade is worth, because you can see here debuff stun reduction by 40 seconds, but at the same time, this cooldown is 80. This is a lot of cooldown. So, oh, it's also reduce your damage output. So you will definitely want to upgrade it if you do. And I don't know, we just need to see it in action. I really have like double opinion on this. In one hand it's like really cool, and in the other it's like we need to see it in action. So you saw in the video how it works, and there's the other one which I don't need. We needed this item. It basically means we have an item that gives you full range, global range, let's call it that way, but you need to target it on someone, and you have 6 seconds to attack or for force auto attacks, but it's only on one target. And for the price, 3k gold for 4 attacks from anywhere, but you need to activate it within 700 range. When you activate, you pick and you do 4 auto attacks, or you in the last moment of team fight when you want to last hit someone. I don't know. I have a mixed feeling for this one. At one point I don't think we need it. Second, maybe it's cool. I don't know, we will give it a try. There's good stats. 30 attack speed is really cool. Sometimes you can just go wingbow, you know? Who needs this when you can just wingbow and make yourself with 100 more attack speed? But we will see how it works. Because the cooldown is 20, I think you can use it twice in team fight. We will see. So the build-up changes because of there's new items. So Arcane Bomb has been a little bit changes, so now it will no longer have stats. Now it will have HP and mana. Brutalizer is been buffed, but there's another like new build for that. So there's a Slayer, Mighty Blade, and a Recipe, so it's 3.4k. And the total cost is reduced from 3. Like by 50 gold. And passively strength is increased a little bit, and the physical damage is twice, which is cool, and the stun is 0.1 more, so a little bit of a buffer to Brutalizer. This is nice. So Codex has been reworked for the build up, So now you will have the book, Major Totem, Recipe. It will be the same price, I feel like. No, it's actually less. It used to be 3k gold. So yeah, Codex has been buffed with the price, which is cool. So no longer grants bonus attack damage, so there's no like plus 18 damage as you used to get. But now you have stats, so stats is even better than damage in this case, because you get the damage from the stats, of course. So you have strength, agility, and intelligence from the item. Of course, more intelligence, as it's a codex, you know, it's a magic item, and it's from the book. But this is interesting. So also magic damage dealt by the activation part of the item changed, so it's less in the early of the game, but 900 level 5 codex is pretty damn good. Instead of 800 and with the spell shards, it can be really viable pick, like 500 less gold and you get more damage. I mean, why not, right? And the cast range is also increased by a little bit in the later of the game. Oh, sorry, it's actually decreased, sorry. Yeah, but this is totally fine. And the cooldown is actually lowered by, look at this, 10 seconds at first level reduce, and the last seconds and last level it's gonna minus 2 seconds. This is cool. Codex is really nice now, I feel like. The mana cost changed, this is also great. They just reversed it, I feel like, a little bit. So before it was 100 in the last level, which makes no sense as you level it up. But now it makes sense, more mana, more damage. And the visual effect for the lighting is now changed with level, so this is also cool. And the color order is white, green, blue, purple, red. This is really cool. I like it. Codex is really cool right now. I mean, people say it's a grief item, but maybe now it's really viable because you can tell stats, more damage. Why not? Puzzle box is now a complex build of a bloody ruby, either jewel and another either jewel and a recipe, so 2.5k. So I feel like it will be actually better with the price. So you can see in the price it's actually less by 400 in last level, and no longer grants you stats because of the items right now, but it will give you max HP and max health and attack damage. It's like a nerf and a balance way, because now it's less gold, so the item shouldn't give you don't buy it for the stats, you buy it for, you know, the minions. Like, you wanna find invis stuff and you wanna have a parasite inside, so this is nice overall. And the lighting brand items lineup overall here, all of this is minus 25% damage overall, because now the max charges of Siren is reduced by 1, and the damage is reduced by 1 also, you can see it here. In the Downbringer, it's reduced by 3 the damage to 2, and around 45% less damage. Also, the movement speed slow reduced by 10% for the melee and 5% for the range, so a little bit nerf to Downbringer. I think still it will be viable. Downbringer is just a phenomenal item. Alchemist Bones is getting a buff, so now instead of 165 gold you will get 190 gold. And the experience bounty multiplier for killing creep, it will be 0.25 more, so this is nice buffs. Will be reasonable more to get Alchemist. I think it's maybe in our meta is not the best item to get, but like Puppet Master, we'll love to get it. If you have Parasite against you, you should get it, but now you can actually get it because this little tweak of the goal is actually better in the XP also. It really will help you to not get out of the game as you have it. I mean, you can go Solstice Alchemist and just gank. Really cool. Beast Heart, max health bonus is increased a little bit. This is a cool one. I love it. 50 more damage to the Doombringer base damage. This can make the item even stronger. I mean, there is big risk of dying, of course. And the chargers is now 20 but not 25, which I don't really see games that end with 20 chargers anyway, but the damage is just enormous. We will see. I hope Downbringer will be more picked in the later of the game, and not like Mace instead of, you know, for the max damage. But the Gladiator will be happy, like Gladiator players. This is also a cool one. Dreamcatcher, while no max charged, you will get passively a charge every 3 minutes, so Dreamcatcher won't be useless anymore in the later of the game. Ghost Marchers range heroes now only receive the 50% movement speed bonus from the active state instead of 20. Another nerf for Ghost Marchers for range. Golden Apple, no longer passive, grants you the mana regen, and instead now you have +2 attack damage. Golden is been for the HP boost that you almost dead and you use it, not for the mana regen, but that's totally fine. Jet Spire has been reduced by 100 range. This is a big deal. Even though they reduced 300 gold, but I think people would still have buy it like for 2.7k gold, you know. Jet Spire wasn't one of these greater items that everybody loves. More range, you know, Devo Hook, you name it, Magmustan. Kudra range is reduced by 50, and Lunar Tier passively health is been up by 0.1 and 5 gold less. So also you buy it for the mana activation. These changes are fine. Rune Cleaver damage is increased by 10 of the cleave. Sustainer get 5 damage attack, and Toxin Claws no longer rounds any gold like Hatchet. Big patch, guys, big patch, big changes, new items, new heroes, let's call it that way. Ichor is not new, but you know, big rework and big buffs. Also for the mid wars, it's gonna actually this is matchmaking, sorry. So now this is normal. There's the mid wars. So hero ban as usual, and now it's gonna be balance random instead of single draft. I love it. Who plays mid wars always likes to like go for that random YOLO, you know, have some fun. This is cool. And this applies for general of mid wars basically. They fixed the cliff spot. And the master in the planetarium is now stored properly, so this is nice. Camera shake effect is reduced. I love it. Sometimes the camera is going crazy. And this is all bug fixes, as you can see, an optimization. So overall, this is the patch. I think there is nothing crazy here, right? Like, I will probably drop in all scenarios, and Dreamcatcher and Salt Shop health effect no longer gets dispelled by natural creeps. Also, this is cool. It should be like health pot and stuff, so this is nice. So overall, big changes. Let's see if there's something. Oh, there's the King Cloud. So they just added it, so you can see they did this right now. So I'm sure. I don't know about this, about this red goblin. Yeah, I mean a red minion. But it seems like it's like the blue, but now it's instead of, you know, overall taking damage, it will be instant, but we will see. So this is the patch, guys. It was really long one. I appreciate all for being here. I was Craigco, and I will give you all the links in the below in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next patch.